Hey everyone, I'm Tori Overton, and welcome back to the Frisco ISD podcast. It's no surprise that we love showcasing some of the unique individuals who make our district shine, both students and staff who are flourishing in Frisco, thanks to all of the opportunities available in the district. Today, I'm chatting with Emerson High School's band president, Leonie Manfa. As an inaugural member of the Emerson High School band, Leonie has played a huge role in building a legacy and creating traditions that will continue for years to come. Listen to see how these experiences have grown her and how music education has impacted her life. Oh, and stay tuned after our episode to hear about the latest news happening around the district. All right, let's hop in. Can you introduce yourself and explain a little bit about where your love for music first began?
Of course. My name is Leonie Manfa. I'm 17 years old and I'm a senior at Emerson High School. I'm the current serving band president over there, and I have been for 3 years since I was a sophomore. And I play the horn, the French horn, and the mellophone during marching season. I think the thing that first sparked my interest in music has to be film, like movies and TV, because I always found myself really appreciating like the score, and I would look it up and listen to it and try to dissect what was going on. So when I had the opportunity to choose an elective in 6th grade, I knew I definitely wanted to play an instrument. And horn is an instrument that's featured in a lot of soundtracks, actually. So I think I subconsciously chose it because of that quality. So yeah, that's what really drove my interest initially.
It's really incredible that you were inspired by the musical scoring of what you were watching. You know, music plays such a big part of how we digest media. So that's really fascinating.
Yeah.
So why is music education important to you?
I think it's really important because some of the most important memories throughout my academic experience has actually been electives, music, art. You know, not everybody really learns in the same way or is as confident in traditional core classes. But when you get to classes like music, they can really express themselves and shine in a different way. So I really believe that having a community such as band is so important, not only to the building of communities, but really the self-esteem and the opening and diversifying the worldview of so many people. So I think music education is really crucial.
Can you explain a little bit to people who may not know how high school band is kind of structured? Because, you know, a lot of people don't realize there are so many leadership opportunities involved, from marching season to concert season. So just kind of give me a little oversight of how the high school structure is broken down.
Right. So firstly, about the structure of band throughout the year, we start with marching rehearsal in the summer, the end of July, when it's super cool and nice outside. And we do marching rehearsal. We learn a lot of our marching show that you might have seen if you've, had marching band content. So we start that, and it goes throughout the fall. And we do URL for marching. We do various marching contests, and we end that around the end of November. And then we transition into concert season, where you would switch out instruments if you are like me, and we learn traditional like ensemble, full orchestra, sit-down band. So we would do our own UIL and contest, but with inside band. So it's a very different experience season to season. And as for the leadership opportunities, there are so many. For example, I am the band president, but we also have 4 drum majors who are responsible for conducting the band. We have various social officers. We have officers responsible for recruitment and interactions with the younger students in the middle schools. We have section leaders responsible for teaching and regulating the information that comes through their sections. And we have a secretary, just as many as you can think of. It takes a village to really make the band what it is. Yes.
It kind of sounds like it requires a lot of time management. So how do you think being involved in band is helping you build on those skills?
Yeah, so being involved with band has taught me so much responsibility, because you're really responsible for not only getting all the materials you need each and every practice, but also making sure that you're balancing your commitment to rehearsals, but also your other classes. So there's a focus on hard work and really having a discipline to want to commit yourself to various things. I think because we're such a team activity, you have a responsibility to the rest of the team to show up and do your best each day, or else the whole show isn't going to look good, because
Right.
it's not like other sports where we can have alternates. Your spot is your spot, so you're really responsible for making the show great each day you come. So.
That's wonderful. So do you have a preference between marching season and concert season?
Oh, marching season and concert season, they're like night and day. They're so different. I If I had to have a preference, I think it would be marching season. Yes, because you learned so much during marching season. There's so many moving parts. Like, one day you could be learning new choreography and you're learning terms that they use in ballet and you're like, what? So there's lots of different elements that goes into making a great marching show. So I like the ability to learn different things throughout the season.
Speaking along the lines of building that community, who are some of the musical educators who've influenced you to keep going? Because I assume you've been in band since middle school, correct?
Yes, I have. And I have to say, my very first band director, Mr. Davis over at Scoggins, he was such a positive influence when I first started out, because he was so patient, teaching these 11-year-olds how to play these super complex instruments. And he taught me about the perseverance it takes, and also what was important. Maybe you can't play every note perfectly, but how hard are you trying? How committed are you? And he really taught me to not only want to do my best, but to also want to become a leader in band. And he's definitely a big reason of why I wanted to try out for a leadership position in the first place, because I wanted to sort of impact other people the way he did me when I was starting out.
And I love how you lit up when you talked about him. So that's really, really cool. So do you remember picking up your instrument for the first time ever?
I do.
How was that?
It was really interesting because I went in and all my friends were playing like woodwind instruments like flutes. I know you're a flautist. But all of them were playing flute, and I was like, maybe I'll play that. But really, when I picked up the horn, I was like, I know this is what it was meant to be. I can't really explain it, but the band director that was helping out, she was like, oh, this is one of the most difficult instruments. And something clicked. I was like, yeah, this has to be me, because I've always really enjoyed a challenge of some sort. So I was like, I know I have to conquer the horn. So
it was a little bit of just a mental challenge for you too. Oh, that's fun. So what have been, overcoming that challenge, what have been some of your most proudest moments since picking up that French horn for the first time?
I've done a lot of, contests and performances, and those have been really exciting. But my proudest moments have been when I've been able to help younger students, I would say, not be too hard on themselves, because that's something that people struggle with. They struggle with a music, they struggle with getting something correct on their instrument fundamentally, but being able to get older and take up leadership positions, I've been so proud to see younger kids light up and not get down on themselves and commit to band because of something that I may have said or done. So that's been really, really great to see.
Looking back to when I was in high school, I was also in band, and most of my core memories from that time of my life were because of band. And you have the uniqueness of being a part of the Emerson High School band from day one. So about how many students started that band, and how many have y'all grown into now?
Yeah, so when we started, when I was a sophomore, there were about 60 students in band, only freshmen and sophomores. And right now we have about 175.
Wow.
So it's been such a great growth and development over the past couple of years.
Yeah,
it's great.
So building into that, what are some of the unique things about being a part of a band coming together for the first time ever?
It's very interesting. Of course, there are a lot of challenges, but it's so great because you get to set the standard for how the band is going to function for years to come. For example, me and the leaders from sophomore year, we created the first like Emerson band dismissal, our own little chant. We got to decide what we wanted to do for our band banquets. We got to decide how we defined our leadership positions and how we interacted with the band as a whole. And also just unique things about Emerson that no one else would really did, because we wanted to make it really special. So we got to take a lot of control over that we wouldn't have been able to if it was a band that was already established. So a lot of defining our culture and things like that.
We talked a little bit about, how the band was structured. So what was your first introduction to those student leadership positions? Like, did you meet someone in middle school and that kind of made you want to, go out for those roles? And I know you mentioned your band director back at Scott, but what overall made you say you wanted to, I don't know, go out for band president?
Yeah, when I was a freshman at Independence, actually, I I was nervous because it was COVID year and I was really unsure about, how well I was doing. Was I doing what I needed to? But I always remembered the student leadership team being so caring and non-judgmental, because I was all over the place, but they were really, really kind. They would even give me rides if I didn't have one. So I knew that when I transitioned over to Emerson, that I would want to carry on what they taught me, because the culture of kindness and acceptance and help that I was exposed to really let me know that I needed to be involved in leadership one way or another.
Well, you kind of touched on this earlier, but another part about being involved in band is the community that you build along the way, not only with your own classmates, but with some of the other schools in the district as well, and
Right.
even the schools
Yes.
not in our district.
Mm-hmm.
You experience those highs and those lows together, and
Yeah.
it's really a really cool thing. How would you say you're supporting your classmates, and in return, how are they supporting you?
Yes, I do a lot of, making sure that my classmates are aware of everything that's going on, making sure no one's left behind. If I see someone perhaps struggling with one thing or another, I try my best to be of help wherever I can. If they're struggling with choreography, I might record myself and send it over to them so they can get it down. So I try to be a helping hand and sort of a model for how they can carry on, and they really support me by being my friends. My closest friends are in band, and I know that I have a safe space in school because of that community. So for them just being there and laughing with me and like, making these memories with me is so much support.
It's beautiful. So overall, what would you say your favorite memory of being involved with the Emerson High School Maverick Band would be?
Oh, my favorite memory, it probably has to be last year. There's so many, but it's going to be last marching season. It was one of our first ever marching contests that we went to, and we placed fourth overall. And we were so, so excited. We were like falling all over each other and screaming. It was so great. And, people were crying. And it was great because we had came from such a small band, and we worked really hard, practiced really hard to get where we were. So seeing everybody feel the payoff of that was so like special, and I'll never forget it, because we we really came together as a family, and we were just congratulating each other. It was a great time.
Oh, that's so special.
Yes.
So you're also a part of the first graduating class at Emerson.
Yes.
So what do you hope that students who will come after you will hold on to and maintain from the legacy that your class has built?
I really hope that they'll maintain that. Do the things that really inspire you and make you want to come to school and be great. And if it's band, do that. If it's maybe debate or choir, just find a community of people that just inspire you and excite you, because that's really what has made my high school experience so, so great. And I know that without band, I might not have made all these friends and been so excited really to contribute to a community on campus. So definitely find people that inspire you and contribute to a group bigger than yourself, because it teaches you so many lessons on responsibility. It teaches you how to be a team player, and it takes you take a lot out of it in summation. So.
That's wonderful. I feel like I've learned a lot about you just listening to you speak about your experiences with band. And I just think that's a great testimony to the outstanding music programs that are involved in the district. And I just think that's really cool. So thank you so much for sharing your story with me.
Thank you so much. It's been so fun
Oh,
to
good.
just been able to talk about band.
I'm glad you've enjoyed it. Stick around for news updates from around the district.
The application window to serve on a district committee is closing soon. Whether you're a parent, employee, community member, or high school student, your contribution is pivotal as we dive into critical conversations encompassing school health, safety, and more. Don't miss this chance to make your voice be heard. Visit friscoisd.org to apply before September 11th. Mark your calendars for the first community input meeting of the year. Each month, the Board of Trustees offers stakeholders a platform for sharing constructive feedback or seeking clarifications about matters concerning district